Somebody asked me, they're like, why San Diego? I'm like, it's San Diego.
Yeah, why wouldn't you come to San Diego?
What kind of question is that, right?
Yeah, well, I say we are in the people business in real estate, and if you're not talking to people, then you're not making money.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of
green time, some people call it green time, right?
Yeah.
Pay somebody to do the things that you hate to do. And so that's why, for me, like, I love my job. I love it because I only do the things I love to do, that I'm great at doing, and I pay somebody to do all the other things that I don't love to do. My idea is to really be a connector for people who are moving to San Diego, or even people that are thinking about selling, that they don't have somebody that they go, yeah, they don't have their Rick guy or their person down here already. I mean, which is really a testament when you think about the fact that there are all these in-house places, and here you are completely independent. You've got to go, I mean, I hate this phrase, but it's like eat what you kill, right?
Rick, thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited. Going back to about a year ago when we first met at the Forward Mastermind.
Yes.
And now you're here in San Diego, so welcome.
Thank you. It took a minute for us to get all this together here, but I'm so excited to be part of your studio here is so beautiful.
Thank
your
you.
whole office is amazing. You know, of course, what you can't see is the whole, the golf and the thing.
Yeah.
Like, what you guys put together here for agents is really just beyond what I could imagine. So
we're definitely spoiled. I can't complain.
Yeah,
Our office
I hate being spoiled. So
right. I know people are like, wow, you work here, right? And we get used to it. But you know what? It's amazing to be able to have these spaces for agents to showcase, because it's not just about you coming in here and utilizing the space, but also when clients come in and they see who you're partnered with. That's what's really valuable for us.
Yeah, because as an agent, like, we're trying to create an experience.
Yeah.
And the experience is from beginning to end. And how great is it to have a partner like you and New Venture to really bring something to the table that isn't just, kind of scroll moving papers around. It's like, hey, let's have some fun. Yeah. Here's a pen. It's not very good. Yeah, like, hey, let's have an experience. Let's have a memory, right? Because people remember, right, how you made them feel.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing. And you guys are so great at creating that experience. So
thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a fun ride as we created all of it. And we want to make sure that we create that experience or that feeling for the client.
Right.
Because in California, you don't get that fun closing experience when it comes down to escrow or closing, right? You get an email and everyone's saying congratulations, and then you're like, oh, now I'm a homeowner.
It's like an, oh, by the way.
It's like a high five,
totally.
Yeah. And so we wanted to create just spaces where we can celebrate people, and these are big transactions that are happening.
They are big, and they become like you, and especially because we do it every day, all day long, it can become a little bit no big deal.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that for these clients, it is actually a really, really big deal, and to be present to that and really, again, kind of go back to this experience. The other thing I just wanted to just acknowledge too is Neil and Neil Dinger and Forward.
Yeah.
Because, I went to his event. I didn't know what I was going to get there. And I did, participating with Forward and the mastermind, it's been really significant because of the content. But really, honestly, I feel like the most important thing is the connections.
I agree.
Right? People like you and so many other people that we've really connected with, like, wow, this is really a game changer for our business,
I agree. And I think from the people that come into that room, thanks to Neil, are just amazing people.
High power, right? It's
just incredible, like, thinkers and just people that are always willing to help each other. So it's so powerful. But then you started this other mastermind within the mastermind. It's like an accountability group that I feel like has been super powerful for a lot of us, because while you're in this big mastermind with maybe 100 people, sometimes that could get lost, or people can get confused. And so having that accountability group that's a little bit smaller has brought us all a lot.
The thing about that is you can have this great content. And I don't know if you've experienced this. I certainly have, and maybe some people listening. It's like you go to a conference, you go to a thing, and you're like, this is great, this is great, this is great. And then where's the implementation?
Yeah.
And so, it's what's missing, I think, for a lot of people is the accountability. It certainly was missing for me. And so I created these accountability. I've been doing this for like 6 years, creating the accountability groups. It really makes a difference for people.
I love it.
And then also there's more of this bonding, right? So we have this little side group. That is, I don't know, it's like maybe there was like 15. I think we're down to 10 or 12, whatever. But man, it's been a real community inside of a community.
It's really neat because we all support each other, and we're all in different areas of the U.S.
Right, doing different things, and
Yeah.
Yeah, not even, I mean, we're all I think we're all real estate adjacent.
Yes.
But, some lenders, some realtors, title, escrow, content, coaches, all that. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
I love it. And now you're here, because you're originally from Northern California.
Yep.
And now you're here in San Diego.
Yeah, so I have a team that is staying in existence and actually growing in Northern California.
Awesome.
And then I'm bringing myself down to, somebody asked me, they're like, why San Diego? I'm like, it's San Diego.
Yeah, why wouldn't you come to San Diego?
What kind of question is that, right?
Yeah, we're all
So
San Diego.
I'm really fortunate that I have this really great team and that we've built something that's working. And the more I play into that, the less I need to be there day to day, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the team lead, I'm the rainmaker. I have 3 jobs. This is what I coach people too. It's like my job is to create relationships, negotiate deals, and manage the team. What that means is I don't actually have to be boots on the ground there day in and day out.
Yeah.
And so kind of my message is always like, hey, you're, sole proprietor agent person, like don't do that. Like you don't need to be that, right? That's where you start, but you need to be building up to not that, because it's burnout and there's a cap to what you can do, and marriages end and kids don't get parented and you know what I mean?
Well, I think that a lot of agents, and just off of that point, is that a lot of agents start and they see a little bit of success and they're like, I need a team of 20 people. And it's like, let's just elevate where you're at right now, get your systems in place, and then you can start your team.
Yes.
But sometimes it's done backwards, and that's why people go through the burnout. And then they go to like, let me get rid of my team, let me join a team now. So it's interesting.
Well, it's funny. You know what? I feel like what also happens a lot is that agents don't take on a team. They don't hire an assistant, or they hire a buyer's agent who they think is going to work for free, and then they give up too much money on leads. I mean, it's a really flawed plan.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like I get it. When you're brand new, you are the chief bottle watcher and you have to do all the things. But as soon as you start making revenue, you've got to hire a paid assistant. Start with a VA, but then have somebody boots on the ground that is licensed, that can do the showings, that can do all the things, so that you have more time to generate more leads and be in the business and create systems and processes and all that stuff. And I think most agents don't. They get stuck in sole proprietor, and they think they're supposed to be available 24/7. It's a bummer.
And I think a lot of times agents, or any of us that are in business in general, we get scared when it comes down to I need to hire someone, right?
It's scary. That's right.
It's scary because you're responsible for someone else's salary.
What if I don't make any deals?
Yeah, but I think, and at least the way I am, and I know I've heard Neil and other people in the Forward group talk about this too, is that as soon as I have someone on my payroll, I'm working harder because I know I'm responsible for someone else, and then I'm also going to work harder to create the systems, or have them help me create the systems, so that way they have enough to do throughout the day and they're taking off more from my plate. Sometimes now, because I have my assistant, I'm like, wow, I feel like I don't have anything to do, which I always do. Yeah. But it feels nice, right? Once you have it all
and I think one of the things that happens, there's so many things that go into that process of hiring somebody, especially for the first time. But one of the things that people can do is what's called an efficiency calendar, because I think a lot of people are like, well, what do I even have an assistant do? Yeah. It's like, well, you should have them do all the things that you shouldn't be doing. Well, what are those things? Well, basically everything other than creating relationships and negotiating deals. Well, no, but I can't have, it's like, you can have them do all those things.
Yeah.
And they feel guilty, they feel weird, they feel whatever. But the way you find out, the great starting list for your assistant is to do what we use as an efficiency calendar. So every 15 minutes, you write down, what did I just do for the last 15 minutes? Now, you don't do this every day, but you do it for like 2 days.
Okay.
2 days of every 15 minutes, what did I just do? And what you'll see is a couple things. One is this whole idea of, I'm so busy. It's like, no, when you look at what you actually do every day, you're wasting time. And most of it, or a lot of it, they'll find is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I just spent 15 minutes doing that. Then there's things where it's like, wait a minute, is that really what I should be doing? Or is that $25 or $30 an hour work that somebody else should be doing? Because, when you're in this business, you should be making at least $300 or $400 an hour for the things that actually make money. So everything else that isn't $300 or $400 an hour work, you should not be doing. There should be somebody else doing it,
Well, I say we are in the people business in real estate, and if you're not talking to people, then you're not making money. Yeah. Right? So a lot of
green time, some people call it green time, right?
Yeah. So a lot of the times, the things that you're doing all day is either behind a computer or doing admin tasks that an admin should be doing, not you, right?
Totally.
As a business owner, CEO.
And I think what happens for a lot of agents is there's an emotional safety around doing the admin work. right?
Yeah.
It's safe to do the return emails. That's no big deal. Oh, I can organize my desk. I can check the MLS. That's safe. Nobody's going to give me a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be rejected if I'm looking at the MLS.
Yeah.
And they do all these things that they think are important, but they're not.
Yeah.
Like, what's important is creating relationships. That's what's important, right?
That's generating a stream of income.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
100%.
And then the other thing on the efficiency count, the last thing to look for is the things that you just hate doing.
Yeah.
And that should be somebody else. Pay somebody to do the things that you hate to do. And so that's why, for me, like, I love my job. I love it because I only do the things I love to do, that I'm great at doing, and I pay somebody to do all the other things that I don't love to do. In fact, on Friday, my assistant / partner, she was my assistant. I got to say, she's actually now my partner, but she's going away for 2 weeks to Europe, which is great, and I love that for her.
Yeah.
And my goal is to not talk to her, not email. I said, don't take your laptop. You're off the grid. I promise you I can handle it. And I may not be able to handle it. And we're in the middle of hiring another assistant, and we have a VA. But the point is that she does so many things. She did start off as my actual assistant that, I don't do anything. I don't even know how to do stuff. I don't know how to write contracts. I don't know how to do DocuSign anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know how to set up a client for a search. I don't do anything. All I do is create relationships. And so if you're sitting here as an agent, you're like, oh, that guy's kind of a crappy agent. Well, not really. I've just created a system where I get to do the things I love to do.
Yeah.
I make a really good living, and I don't do a bunch of admin stuff that I am not good at, by the way. So
sometimes we, or at least agents, or as you're the business owner, you take on too many hats that you should have never worn. Those aren't your strengths.
Yeah.
And so you got to really figure out where your strengths are and focus on that. And usually, if you're an agent and you're a people person, you should be talking to people.
Yes. Right.
Generating more
and what's funny is I think a lot of agents, they are people, but they want to be around safe people.
Yeah.
They don't want to ask for business. They want to be secret agents. You know what I mean? They just want people to just come their way.
So they hang around each other instead of going after business,
Right.
You see a lot of that.
So there's a way to not just be with people, but be purposeful, and also not be that guy or that girl. Like, hey, I'm an agent. Hey, you got a deal? You got a deal? Here's my card. Do
you know anyone looking?
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to be that person to be successful, but you can't just hang out with your real estate friends and expect business to come your way. You can't just go on broker tour every week and be like, oh, I'm being a realtor. It's like, no, you got to do stuff. You do have to create an environment where clients think of you when they think of real estate. And there's a way to do that that's purposeful but not annoying.
How would you recommend people do that?
Well, I think like for us, we have everything's all systematized, right?
Yeah.
So for example, once a month, everybody that's in our database gets what's called an evidence of success. A lot of people send this things out, but evidence of success is something that says, hey, I did something in real estate. I sold a house, I helped a buyer, whatever it is. Once a month, they get one thing that just says that. It's not a big deal. It's a postcard. We know it's going to be looked at for a second. Like I don't expect that card to make any difference, except for over a period of time, it's still, Rick's in the sales business or in the real estate business. But more importantly than that, we also send out once a month what's called a below the waterline letter. It was originally called something else, but the below the waterline letter is a note that I write that it's not a handwritten note. I do type it out, but it's got nothing to do with real estate. It's all about something I learned in my life, maybe something personal development, maybe I make fun of myself and something that I did that was dumb. Or like one time I talked about reconnecting with my dad after feeling like I couldn't connect with him. Like real actual below the waterline. Do you know the analogy below the waterline?
Yeah.
Like so the iceberg, that 10% of the iceberg is above and 90% is below. And what we all are out there portraying to everybody is that like the best part of us. Like I'm pretty and I'm great and I think and my vacation and whatever. Meanwhile, there's this whole real life that's happening that isn't always great. And there's warts and it's ugly or it's scary or whatever. And so the below the waterline letter is like it's not a look good. It's like it's raw. It's not like terrible.
Yeah.
But it's honest.
It's the real
It's authentic.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we send out both of those things. So there's this connection because we know that people do business with who they know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. Well, the best way to create know, like, and trust is to share your actual life experience, to share your pain along with your success. And that creates relationship without having to necessarily,
cold call.
Certainly not. I don't do do any cold calls. So that's how we do it, like from that standpoint. The other thing is we do 4 events a year. So there's always something coming or something that already just happened. So every time I call somebody, and I'm purposeful about calling people, when I get them on the phone, because agents are like, well, who do I call? Well, I don't even know what to say. Well, how about if you invite them to something?
Yeah.
What if every time you called them, you got to invite them to something, or say, hey, I'm sorry we missed you but our next event is blank. Now you're what we call coming from contribution. You're give, right? So now you're in front of them, you've made a contact, and it's not like, I was just checking in. Like, if you're, don't ever say that. Don't ever say that to anybody, because that's code for, I wonder if I could sell something to you.
Yeah.
That's really, you know what I mean? So
why
it's
are
like,
you checking in?
Yeah, what are you checking in on what?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? So it's like, come from contribution, be purposeful, and then when you're on the phone or when you're meet with somebody or whatever it is, make the conversation just got to be about them, right?
Ask questions.
So that's what, like on the accountability forum, I have on there FORD, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Just as the acronym of like, make the conversation about them. Be curious about them.
Yes.
They may not ask you anything about you. Perfect, great, doesn't matter, because you've connected with them. They talk about themselves, and then they go, I like that person I just talked to about myself. That's just,
it's funny how that works, right?
It's funny how it works.
People just want to talk.
Yeah, but it really works. And then the last thing is, if they say, so how's the market, right? You want to have a really good answer for that.
Yeah.
Don't say, I'm so busy, or it's crazy, or it's a seller's market. Like, give them something that they can latch onto that's meaningful, that tells them you're in the business, like you're there every day, right? And so when you do that, those 4 things over a period of time, you become the person they think about when it comes to real estate. And so when we had a, I don't have it anymore, but we had a coaching company called Flow Academy, and the idea was that you were in the flow, that people just called you when it was time to do real estate. And it wasn't because you asked them. It was because you created that know, like, and trust experience around real estate. So when something popped up, we did a deal just closed 2 days ago. The reason the deal closed was it was a guy that I played tennis with 20 years ago, but he is in my database. And so when his parents passed away and he needed to sell his house, and his uncle said, you need to deal with a realtor. This is literally what he said. He goes, so when it came to real estate, I thought to myself, oh, I have to call my friend Rick. He's the guy that does real estate. My friend Rick. I've never talked to him about, hey, do you have any deals? Like, I've never said that to him, right? But that's what we're trying to create.
I think you're having a constant, letter going out to them, and they're knowing what you're doing in the market. They're also hearing about you personally.
Right.
And then you're inviting them to things that you're doing and you're hosting.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about them, and then you're talking to them about themselves.
Yes.
About what is going on with them. That's what people need. And I think it's crazy because not enough agents are doing that. I will let them know, hey, have you been hosting events for your clients?
Yeah.
To show them that you care, that you're not just done with them after you closed a sale. And the majority of them say no. Like, that, you're missing so much opportunity, because like, the reason why I host so many events, it helps me pick up the phone and call them.
Yes.
And stay in front of them.
It's a great reason to call, because guess what? You're not getting rejected when you call and you go, hey, we're doing a movie. We rented the movie theater. We'd love to have you and the kids come by.
Yeah.
It's November 12th. I hope you can make it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the feel bad? Where's the risk there?
Sorry, I can't make it.
I can't make it. Oh, no problem.
No worries.
And by the way, we don't care if anybody actually comes to I want people to come to the events, but that's not the point.
It's the touch point.
Yeah, because sometimes agents are like, well, what if they don't come? Who cares? They got invited, right? Then because then of course we do social and we post about it, and then we thank people for coming, and the people that do come, we call them, hey, thanks for coming to the event. And they don't have to be big, right? We have some events that are big. We rent the movie theater sometimes, and we have a party at this is a big brewery. We have a party there. But we also do like a shred event every year.
Perfect.
This is like it's so easy, and it's inexpensive. Like, we rent a whole shred truck for, I don't know, like 3 hours, $1,200, and we invite other agents to do it with us, right? Because the more the merrier. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no conflict.
Yeah.
So now, for like $250, you have
worth it.
You have a great event and you're making a contribution, and the people that come every year are like, I'm so glad you do this every year.
Because a lot of them, they don't have an office like I do where I can bring my shredding here,
Exactly, right.
So you're helping
And it's a
them.
touch point, and again, it doesn't matter how many people show up. I mean, I don't have a gigantic database because I actually do kind of work at, like, I don't just keep sending out to people.
Yeah.
But the database I have is pretty dialed in. I mean, like a shred event, I bet you 10% of the people of my database actually show up, which you go, well, that's not a success. It totally is, because all those people still got an invitation from me. Something I was giving to them. I was making a contribution. And they go, oh, that's right, Rick does real estate. They don't even know, like, it's happening, but in the back of their head, it's always, oh yeah, Rick's my real estate guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's all you want. You
that's
want
all
them
you
to think about you.
Right.
That's perfect.
Yeah, because they're going to, so whenever they do it, they're going to do it.
So So what's the move now that you're here in San Diego? What are you going to be doing here?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So originally I thought, I'll do a team down here. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't know San Diego. I think it's really important. I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like, hey, if you're going to help somebody sell or buy a house, you need to know the neighborhoods. Well, I'm 55 years old. I'm not going to come down here and learn the neighborhoods. But my skill as a negotiator and making deals, that still travels. And my knowledge of like who's a good agent and who isn't a great agent, who would I connect people with, I feel like I've got a pretty good skill there. So my idea is to really be a connector for people who are moving to San Diego or even people that are thinking about selling that they don't have somebody that they go, they don't have their Rick guy or their person down here already, and help them find that person down here that's amazing in their neighborhood or the neighborhood that they want to move into, and kind of create those kind of connection. And then the other thing is support the agents that are down here by creating, these kinds of opportunities where I want to interview them just like you're doing with me. I want to interview them about their expertise to create not only a place for people to go and find out a specific neighborhood or a specific location that they're crushing it in, but also about them and their personality, because we're all different. Like, I'm not the right agent for everybody.
I agree.
I'm just definitely not.
And everyone has their people, right? Everyone has their tribe who they attract.
Yes.
And it's good to be able to connect with those kinds of people.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you're doing that. So you're going to be almost like guiding and being the connector
just
between.
Just a connector, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's very much like what I do. So
exactly, exactly. So we're kind of, in a lot of ways, we're in the same business, and that's what you're so great at. I know that your reputation here is that. Like, and I was talking to, we have a mutual friend that we met at Forward. I think her last name is Sophia. Melissa.
Yes.
And she was like, oh my God, Tanya is the connector. You need to be with her. And I know a lot of people feel that way. And then we had a big party down here. You had a big party. What was that, like March?
That was for the Forward Mastermind, yeah. In March.
And that was so fun. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you're creating for people.
I want to create an environment for everyone to be able to connect. And I want agents that come here to be able to do deals together. I want them to be able to come here and bring their clients and showcase the space that we have and be proud of it, right? But I've been doing escrow now for 12 years, and I've gotten to know quite a bit of people in San Diego, and San Diego starts getting really small. So you'll notice real fast that it's actually not that big, especially the real estate industry. But it's super great when you're in it and you meet such amazing people out there, and I guarantee you already have been.
Yes.
Because you've been here for a few months now.
Yep.
I'm excited for you. It's going to be a really good opportunity for you, and I'm here to help however I can,
I know.
Introduce you to all the agents.
Yeah, so I'm curious for you, what is it that you think, what's your biggest challenge as an escrow company? What do you see as a challenge, and then what kind of solutions are you creating for people around that?
I think the biggest challenge when it comes to escrow is, first and foremost for us, the competition is with like the in-house companies. So a lot of brokerages own their own escrow company. So we are 100% independent. We're out there fighting for every new deal, every new escrow. Yeah. And we've always wanted to stay that way. We've never wanted to be connected or tied to a brokerage, because we want to be a neutral third party, which is what escrow is.
Yes.
We really want to be that third party neutral person who's there to help both sides equally.
Yep.
We are literally just focused on escrow. We're focused on creating an amazing experience for the clients, both buyers and sellers. We're here to be equally neutral, and we're not going to take sides, right? And that's what sometimes it's hard when there's an in-house escrow company.
Sure, yeah.
So we've just created, because we're independent and we have to fight for every deal, our escrow officers know they have to, put their best foot forward. And when we're out there as the sales reps, talking to agents, getting the introductions, bringing them in and they say, yes, okay, I'll work with you. That takes a long time, and it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
So once it goes to the escrow officers know we have to really take care of these agents and we really have to take care of these clients, because the second deal is not guaranteed from them.
Yeah.
We don't have a broker telling them you have to use New Venture.
Yeah.
That's part of your contract.
Yeah.
It's literally every deal that comes to us is because we've created the relationship with the agent, we've given them a great experience, and they brought the second deal over.
Yeah.
And now we're continuing to be of value to the agent in different ways. And so I think that becomes the challenge sometimes, is just, my broker said I have to use an in-house, right? But it's like, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Really, the truth is you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can choose what's best for your clients. And that's what I think is really important, is to really go out there and figure out who is the best fit for myself as the agent and my clients, who's going to be the best partner for me. And that's what I go out there and look to do. Just like you said, you don't want to work with everyone. I don't want to work with every agent. Not every agent is for me. So some agents, should be working with in-house escrows. I want to work with people that I enjoy being around, that I'm happy and I continue to love my life. I love what I do, and I want want to continue to love what I do every day. And people that we can work as a team. Like, you should be talking to your escrow rep, your title rep regularly. Figure out, hey, what's out there? What's going on out there? Because we talk to so many agents all day, every day. So we see who's doing what. What are they using now for lead generation? Yeah. What are they doing now? What's the new thing?
Yeah.
Right? And
what's working, what's not working.
What's working, what's not working. Yeah. What are people doing? So I think that utilizing your partners, like in that sense of like, brainstorming with them, masterminding with them is so important and not done enough. And that's kind of what I want to do and what I am really big on. Yeah. I want to sit down with my teams and say like, okay, let's see what's going on with your team. Where are the holes that maybe I can help you fill because of my knowledge and my experience and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Who you can connect people with and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, so it sounds like we have similar business models, which is you come from contribution.
Absolutely.
You're there to make a difference.
Yes.
And yes, of course, ultimately in the escrow, but in the meantime, how can I create a relationship with you in a way that you're like, wow, this is really meaningful to me?
Exactly.
The proof's in the pudding. Like, you guys are crushing.
We're doing all right. Yeah, we're growing.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. It's really fun to see it.
I mean, which is really a testament when you think about the fact that there are all these in-house places, and here you are completely independent. Yeah. You've got to go, I mean, I hate this phrase, but it's like eat what you kill, right? You've got to go out there and create that. Yeah. You guys do that.
Yes.
It doesn't just walk in the door because you're associated with something. And you're crushing it.
And that makes it so much more special to me, right?
Right.
That every relationship we're creating, we're not being told, or they're not being told you have to work with this person. Yeah. And I take that very serious. If I work with, broker owner of a team or something, I want to make sure I get to know the agents underneath them and give them equally as much, time and effort.
Yep.
And it's so important for me to still show up for all of them, not just the leader of the pack,
Yeah, really good stuff.